Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Eight of Swords, so it does feel like there's a little bit of rumination, a little bit of overthinking going on. Stop. Stop right now, okay? No more overthinking. This is a trap of our own mind. It's not real, okay? Write down your fears right now. Write down whatever your dilemma is, whatever you've been ruminating on. Stop right now and write it down, okay? And, maybe even ask for someone close to you, someone that you trust, to come and give their perspective on something. Maybe somebody to bounce ideas off of, things like that, okay? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. This is a reading for the mid-season. We have an Eight of Pentacles. We have a Hierophant. We have a Devil. We have a Sun. And we have a Nine of Swords. Yeah, so I feel like there is truth coming, okay? I feel like this is the recognition of the clarity, right? This is the recognition of what we really need in order to continue growing right now, continue moving forward. We have a Seven of Cups. We have a Princess of Pentacles. We have a Queen of Wands, and we have, there's the clarity. There's the way forward. Okay, we have an Ace of Swords. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And Leo, we're just going to set it down right over here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the sort of the happy conclusion and confirmation that we want, okay? At the end of the reading, though, if you have a prediction for that card at any point during this message, please put it in the comment section below the video. Now, as we look around the room again, we see major, major, major. We kind of have this momentum, right? The major arcana here is kind of sweeping you forward. I feel like you do have this push from spirit right now. We've got fire. We've got some water, yeah. We've got air, and air. And we've got our earth energies, okay? But starting out with the Eight of Swords, again, the overthinking. We got to stop that right now, okay? And, this might be the need for us to kind of change the way we're thinking about something. This is a loop. This is a figure eight. We keep looping back in on the same things, and right now you might find that there is some problem, some issues, some dilemma, okay, that you're trying to find a solution for. Or even just not even really realizing that we continue to run the same loops or the same programs in our mind. And recognizing now how that's making us kind of stuck, okay? I feel like right now a slight change in your routine or a small habit or something like that is really going to help you to build the momentum. I feel like there's some kind of a blockage right now. I feel like there's almost like a stuck energy somewhere, okay? Any place in your life right now where you're saying, I can't, we need to flip that. We need to start saying, I can, I will, I'm going to, look, I'm doing it, right? Not I can't, but just maybe like I haven't yet, but I'm going to, I'm doing it right now, right? Free yourself from the limiting self-talk, okay? Right now, clarity is going to come with action, not with analysis. I feel like there's been enough analysis in your life, okay? And that kind of segues really nice into our Eight of Pentacles, doesn't it? Because this is the card of taking that steady routine action, refining your skills, the repetition of something in order to gain mastery. This is repetition of the wrong kind. This is a mental repetition, a rumination, making us feel stuck. There's no progress here. It's kind of like we've been thinking about something, but we're not reaching any new insights. This is saying, let's just get to work. Let's just do something, you know? Focus on the details, okay? Focusing on just trying to do the best job that you can in whatever work you're doing in your life right now, at home, at school, at the job, it doesn't matter. Create a routine that focuses on flow, that allows you to focus, avoid distractions, stay committed to your craft right now. And practice patience. The Eight of Swords could be that we're not feeling all that patient with ourselves, you know? So let's make sure we recognize the progress we're making and understand that real progress, real success takes time, okay? A good time for you to invest in maybe education, maybe even investing in new equipment that might improve your work. How can we upgrade our tools right now that maybe will help us to more accurately, you know, manifest what it is we're imagining? You know, you get the right kind of pencil, the right kind of hammer and chisel, and it's going to help you to bring your idea to life, you know. Discipline is going to be a very important factor right now for you, okay? Especially since we're in that overthinking energy still, yeah. And I think that this is, you know, it's maybe that things we're making them too complicated. But these two cards together kind of saying, like, let's just simplify, just do what we can do. And maybe there are simple things that we can sort of upgrade, or like a new piece of equipment or a new tool that we could use. Maybe we just need to kind of, we need to break the routine, but also in a way that is just going to sort of bring in a little bit of fresh energy. You know, and it's interesting that this card is all about just keep doing what you're doing. This card is saying, what I keep doing isn't working. So I feel like we need that good idea of the Ace of Swords there. Because I feel like you are looking to refine something or improve something. And I think that if we can do just a little thing to help kind of break the spell, break the monotony even, you know what I mean? I think that's going to be a really important thing for you right now. Okay, so we also have a Hierophant. And this is down beneath the surface. This is something that things are kind of resting on. And this is tradition. This is the education that we already have, right? These are the skills, let's say, that we already know. These are the things that already have been working. And I kind of feel like there needs to be a little bit of a transcendence of this, right? It would be a good time to reflect on what we already know, okay? But also to sort of increase our education or our knowledge. Take a course, look at a book, maybe watch a podcast or something, some way that we can sort of take our knowledge or our skill set just one notch higher. Because I think that'll take you out of the monotony, out of the routine, out of that Groundhog's Day kind of feeling. Okay, learn something practical that's going to help you to just bump your skills up a little bit. Okay, a good time to perhaps seek advice from someone who kind of has the skill set that you respect. Okay, not somebody that's kind of familiar or that's kind of that you're already conversing with, but how do you, maybe who are your idols in this time? You know, who do you like look up to as somebody that has kind of achieved what you're trying to achieve in some way, where you could sort of look to them and maybe gain some kind of insight, or maybe directly ask them for advice, but to observe like how they've been doing it, not to copy them, but to get some sort of insight about like, how you might be able to push yourself one step forward, okay? But definitely revisit the skills that you do have. this might be a good card for joining or even reconnecting with a community, okay, with a guild or some kind of a tradition or an institution that supports whatever you're doing in your life right now. And it could be a craft or a skill or an art form. It could even be spiritual or religious, okay? And maybe part of this energy too for you is to teach somebody else what you know already as a way of sort of cementing your own understanding, a way of kind of like consolidating what you know so that you can then take the next step, right? So I feel like this is the textbook in a way. And we want to make sure we understand the textbook. But it's time for you to now make your contribution or take a step beyond the textbook, especially with the 8 and the 8 here. It's too routine. It's basically saying, I'm following the textbook exactly, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like there's any progress. It feels like we're kind of stuck in a loop. And well, yeah, we kind of are here. Okay. So the tradition here is supposed to be a tool. It's not supposed to keep you encaged. Okay. There may be a good idea here for you to focus on very healthy daily routines and rituals, but do so consciously. Something that's going to open up the flow of creativity or the flow of success or progress or whatever it is you're doing right now, you know. So we've got the Devil card behind us too, and to me the Devil is a very powerful, powerful card. It is the engine of the car, okay? And sometimes we have to take a look at this motivation and see, like, where are we overdoing things? Is there something that we've been, well, except for the thinking, yeah, I think we've been overdoing that. Are there other things in your life right now that you need to stop doing or stop overdoing? Is there a way that we can bring things back into a little bit of balance or moderation? Okay. A good time to sort of set a limit and stick to it. Okay. I think it really is, it's going to be enlightening to observe your habits and your routines, not just of thought, but of behavior. And just to get some insight into, like, okay, well, I've been doing the same thing in the same way for a long time. That's probably why I've been getting the same result. And if we're not happy with that result, or we feel like we're kind of stuck in that, I think we can deviate a little bit, you know? I think that we can find out where we've been stuck in some kind of unhealthy habits, and we can replace them or try to sort of overwrite them a little bit with something nourishing and something healthy, okay? But be very honest in your life right now about what's motivating you. What is driving? This is the card, this is the driving force, you know, the engine of the car. It's your creative drive, it's your pleasure drive, it's your sovereign drive, okay? So we really need to know why we're climbing this mountain, why we're trying to do this difficult thing, okay? And it may just be that things have become a little bit too routine. Just a little bit too kind of Groundhog's Day, and we maybe need something different, something fresh, something motivating in order to sort of bring that momentum back, you know? Be very honest about what's motivating you. Say no to anything that's draining you. And I think sometimes the mental loops and even the physical loops that we get into, they're draining us even though we don't realize it. Habits are supposed to be efficient, and, you know, there's a reason why we're sort of creatures of habit, because it streamlines the process. If we do something out of habit, we don't have to focus our conscious energy on it, and we don't consume as many calories doing it, you know. The mental bandwidth doesn't need to be really, you know, eaten up by the conscious attention to those particular behaviors. But habits, we could get into habits that are not good for us, you know, that have become so automatic that we're not realizing that it's siphoning away a lot of our time, effort, energy, money, or space. So let's say no to some of those things. Let's become aware of those and make a better choice, you know. Freedom is going to come from those small, honest sort of choices. We need the Sun card up here because the sun is really going to illuminate kind of, give us the clarity about how we're behaving and how we're thinking about certain aspects of life. Sun card up here is really a card of celebration, okay? Celebrating progress. A good way to break your routine right now is to just go do something fun, just for the joy of it, not for any purpose, but just to have fun, right? Go spend some time outside, get in the natural light. It's going to lift up your mood. Smile more, that's going to change your energy, and it's going to really attract some, more connections for you in your life. Compliment somebody close to you in a sincere way. That positivity is going to come back to you real fast. Okay. Simplify your tasks. How right now in your life, Leo, can you pay attention to your routines and habits of thought and of behavior? And how can you simplify and even alter your routines and your habits so that they're healthier and so that they're more streamlined? Okay? Because if they're simple and healthy, there's going to be more room for joy anyway, more room for creative, exploration. Happiness is a practice, okay? It's not a reward. And this card is saying we got to practice being happy. We've got to set our lives up, set your mind up and your body up in these habits and routines that are sort of aimed at success. The things the thoughts that keep repeating, they're either helping you or hindering you. The habits of your physical existence are either helping you or they're hindering you, okay? And I think right now, if you're feeling stuck in life somewhere, this Sun card, this practice of happiness is going to help, especially since we have that Seven of Cups down here. All right. Now, we also have the Nine of Swords. Okay. Well, before we get to the Nine of Swords, I want to do one of our spirit animal cards. And here we have the Scarab Beetle Spirit. Magic works through you. Okay. Magic works through our thoughts, right? Our bodies and our minds. That's how magic works. And so I think that really makes sense to me, that if that magic is going to flow through you, we have to find out what's been stopping it. What are the blockages that have been preventing it from flowing through us, from it working through us, right? Well, it's habits of mind and habits of body, and those are the things that we have to look at in order to see how they've been limiting us. So we've got a Nine of Swords. This is worry. This is, kind of sleepless nights, okay? It's very important that we set up very healthy and positive routines, habits of body and mind so that you can sleep well at night. And that's kind of the marker. That's the gauge of your stress and your health right now. How are you sleeping at night? Are you sleeping like a baby? Okay, maybe you can skip this part of the reading. If you're not, or if you haven't been lately, we've got to understand what our routines are, the habits of body and mind, and how they're affecting your sleep. We have to make sure that we calm our minds down and calm our bodies down before we go to bed. And so what are some habits, some mental habits and physical habits that we can get into that will help us sleep better? Well, maybe meditation, maybe, turning off the phone at a certain time, not doom scrolling right before bed, not reading the news, as we're trying to fall asleep. Get into some sort of, evening or some kind of a wind down habit or routine or rhythm maybe. Maybe instead of calling it a routine or a habit, we should call it a rhythm. Get into a good evening rhythm where your body is relaxed. Maybe you do some light stretching, a little bit of exercise, you go for a walk, getting outside in nature, especially during sunset. Some deep breathing, some meditation, just some kind of relaxation, a little bit of chamomile tea, maybe a little bit of music, turn the lights down low, and you'll sleep better at night. Okay. Also with the Nine of Swords, remember that you don't have to face everything alone. Talk to somebody that you trust, okay? And definitely avoid that doom scrolling or watching the news at the wrong times, okay? Because that's going to affect your well-being, okay? Focus on what you can control right now, which are these habits and routines and these rhythms that you're in. Don't worry about the future. Okay, for some of you, this is kind of like we're always worried about tomorrow and next week and what I got to do, when's payday and what bills are coming up, and you know I got a deadline I got to make, and what's my schedule like for next week, and all that is really stressful, you know. So just focus on what we can do right here, right now, today. We can go outside, we can journal, we can text a friend or talk to a friend or something like this, right? We could take a class, we could watch a podcast on YouTube, we could do something to sort of improve our skills. Like there are things we can do now that will make us feel good about the progress we're making. And try those grounding habits, the deep breathing, the journaling, even prayer, meditation, that sort of thing. Get some good sleep at night. Hydrate, okay? That's going to restore the mental clarity. Gentle thoughts are in order. You got to stop this. You got to stop right now that overthinking, okay? Because this is going to help you. Yeah. Now we also have a 7 of Cups over here that we got to talk about. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, all right? Your 7 of Cups here is kind of the general energy. And to me, this is maybe, for some of you, it'll feel like there are too many options for you right now. You got to get grounded. We're ruminating. We're overthinking. Stop it right now. Because there's too many options and we can't decide which one to take, which one to go after. So we need to ground ourselves. We need to get into this. We need to have a good night's sleep. We need to get into a good rhythm, and you'll be able to decide. Okay, it's a really good cards here for journaling and making lists and writing things down. Write down the thoughts that you're having. Write down what's bothering you. Write down what the options are. Okay, avoid escaping your dilemma or your choice or even avoid escaping the present moment by distractions, the phone, doom scrolling, social media, even like daydreaming and stuff like that. Focus on what feels real right now, okay? And that's, get in touch with your body, pay attention to your thoughts, ground your energy, go outside, do the breathing, all the things we talked about, obviously, right? And focus on that because that's going to, I think, bring us back to the present moment. And maybe for some of you, there's really this need to pick one thing. Pick one dream and take some practical steps toward it. Watch a podcast, take a class, investigate it, research it. Pick one thing that you're in love with and take one step toward it. Practical steps, okay? Let your intuition come about. And I think as we get into that rhythm with our bodies and our minds, we're going to be able to trust that intuition more. That intuition will rise up and will guide us. Okay? Simplify your decisions right now, and that's how you're going to really regain peace of mind, and that's how you're going to understand what steps to take and how to move forward. Okay? We have a Princess of Pentacles here as well, which is really, it's definitely a grounding type of energy. It's saying get in touch with your body. Understand the rhythms of your body. What is your body begging you for? Do you need sleep? Do you need, water? Do you need good, nourishing food? Okay, it would be a good time for you to learn something. With that Hierophant in this card, it'd be a good time to learn a new skill or bump up your skill set a little bit, because that maybe is going to help you, one, feel good, and maybe even give you an option for maybe more money or even learning something new that could be a new source of income. Start small. Okay, one step toward one step in a positive direction. And it may be implementing something new that's going to lead to maybe not a new source of income, but a new source of joy or peace, a new source of relaxation. Learn a new technique or something for grounding your energy even, yeah. And with that Hierophant, maybe it is we're kind of doing a little continued education. It's going to make us more valuable to our employer or to the job market or something like that. Okay? Be patient with yourself. You're building something that takes time. Okay? Be very careful with your money right now. Be very thoughtful. Avoid any kind of impulsive things, and even look at your habits and routines of spending. Okay? And sort of get a handle on that if you can. Get some awareness, get a little bit of clarity about your spending. Maybe even start a budget. Do a weekly or a monthly sort of budget, one that's realistic. You know, I've made budgets before, but it's like there's no way I could stick to that budget because it's not practical, right? And maybe even set up a goal for like a savings thing, like I want to save $100 this month, or I want to save like $1,000, you know, this year or something like that. It's hard. But having a goal, having a number in mind that's saying, look, by the end of the year, I want to have at least, you know, like X number of dollars saved. Gives you something to work toward and gives you something that on the daily basis, you can work toward that, okay? Again, with the studying something practical, whether it's a health thing or some kind of a new technique or new protocol for your health and well-being, if it's kind of a mental thing, if it maybe is something related to business or your craft, studying that new thing is sort of, you know, it's building blocks, okay? Your curiosity and your consistency are going to open new doors. So I feel like we're kind of getting out of a rut here, and I like that a lot. I think we need this energy right now. And so it may just feel for some of you that, you know, mid-season, Leo, we kind of are feeling like our progress has slowed down, or that we've gotten a little bit lost in just the habits or the routines of life. And I think that we just need a little bit of sunshine. Not only in terms of positivity and happiness, but sunshine in terms of clarity. We just got to shine a light on what's going on so that we can see where we need to make a little bit of change and where we can continue to refine ourselves and keep the rhythm going so that the magic can work through us. Yeah. We also have a Queen of Wands here, and this is your power. You're stepping into your power with a type of heat. You know, no apologies, okay? I think that it's a good time for you to be visible, okay? Be visible to yourself, so self-awareness, sure, yes. But also, you know, present yourself to the world, post something, share your talent. Put yourself out there. The Sun card is sort of in alignment with that too. Put yourself out there. Be visible. But also encourage others. Okay, your leadership is kind of being highlighted here in the way that you're able to inspire confidence in other people. The confidence that you have in yourself is going to be very influential toward other people. A good time for you, Leo, to take some pride in your appearance. Okay, so how might you, just kind of as an act of self-respect, how can you sort of treat yourself, or how can you adorn your body in a way that's going to feel very, very like, very respectful, very powerful, and also very honoring? You know, what can you do physically that will help you to feel that, like, you know, your body is your temple and you're giving it a little bit of shine, you know, letting yourself radiate your energy and being visible. You know, set boundaries where you need to. Set boundaries with yourself. Okay. I think that you're going to be rediscovering your passion for what you're doing, and that is that passion is going to drive the car. That's going to be the engine. It's not perfectionism. Okay, I think that you're going to be getting back in touch with the motivation and feeling a kind of a surge of that drive from that devil card. You know. Own your fire and let it inspire the people around you. I think you have, I feel like some of you are just kind of, you hit like a low point in the season. And I think it's just time that we sort of start the upward trajectory out of that, you know. And I think the Ace of Swords is a very good card for that anyway, right? Because this is, you know, truth and clarity. Speak your truth clearly, be confident right now, and have that idea. Start the new plan, the project, the new habit or the new skill or the leveling up or the sort of, you know, the continued education, that sort of thing. Have the conversation that you need to have. cut through the confusion and that Eight of Swords, you got to stop right now by writing things down. Writing things down right now is really going to kind of stop everything in its tracks. One, because when you write things down, you have to slow your thoughts down in order to write them down, because your fingers can't go as fast as your thoughts. There's no way, right? So it sort of forces us to think slower, okay? Avoid any kind of gossip right now. Keep your communication clean and direct. And keep your thoughts, as focused as possible. Seek facts before reacting to things emotionally. Use logic to solve problems, and keep your emotions, let your emotions rest, because I feel like emotionally, maybe some of you are feeling kind of fatigued or even weighed down or even kind of stuck emotionally. Let your emotions rest. Let your mind rest, okay? And just strive for simplicity. Clarity is going to be a really strong weapon for you. Yeah. Let's look at our mystery card. Perhaps, what is this going to be? Perhaps it'll be some water energy. I want good water energy. I think even good, any good fire, good water, good earth energy would be nice. Okay? Because we have obviously the 8, the 9, 7, 8, 9 in terms of your heart and mind. I would like a 6 of either cups or swords. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Well, we have a judgment card, okay? This is really that sort of wake-up call that we're getting. This is the spiritual alarm clock that's going off and saying it's time to rise. It's time to get out of the rut we've been in. It's time to get out of the stagnation. It's time to make the choice, the conscious choice, to get up and start doing something differently. This is a doorway. It's an offer. It's an opportunity to go through a doorway. So, in some sense, this is saying, first of all, let's reflect on the past a little bit. What no longer defines you? What do you need to move on from? Forgive any kind of past mistakes, any kind of guilt or shame. Stop it right now. Any kind of rumination or attachment to the past, or rumination about the past, right? Rumination about the past, stop that right now. Okay? Reach out to someone close to you if there's any kind of unfinished business or any kind of reconciliation that needs to happen. Share your story with someone. That might be a way to to get inspired again, to kind of get back in our fire energy, Make decisions right here, right now, in the present moment, okay, based on who you're becoming and who you want to become, not who you were, okay? That's like right here, right now, we're making decisions in the present moment. Decisions that are going to help us to create the best version of ourselves. Speak up and speak out. Use your voice. It's time to be seen. Between this card, the Sun card, and the Queen of Wands, it's time for you to kind of pull yourself up and get out there again. Step confidently into your next chapter. And let's finish the season strong. Yeah. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there is a join button right below there. I would love to see you over there. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do oracle cards. We'll clarify love and money. And we'll spin the yes/no coin. Leo, I thank you, I love you, and we are all in this together.